Hey, this is Why with the Artist Marketer, and this episode is all about publishing. The biggest takeaway for publishing on this day is to lean into your weirdness, okay? Get your voice through process rather than trying to create it. Okay, so let's look at this a little bit because a lot of people shy away from their weirdness. They think I'm weird in some way and I need to iron that out so that I can be more appealing to my audience. And the exact is actually true. You want to lean into that weirdness because that's you. That's your personality. That's what people are looking for. And it's really hard to find that weirdness and develop your voice and that personality by just trying to think through the process of it. So you have to create through the process. You have to find your voice by creating along the way. So you have to have a regular you have to have a regular flow of content so that you can actually create your voice. You can actually create through and find that weirdness, find your voice, and connect with it. Lean into it. Now, let me give you an example because, that gives it more tangibility. Take Garrett J. White. Look up Garrett J. White. Well, after this, look up Garrett J. White, and some of you will be repelled from him immediately. Others may be attracted to him. Okay, I think he's great. I think he's very strong with his voice, and he's leaned into that. And the questions you want to ask are, if you're repelled by him, what makes you repelled? Because that same thing that makes you repelled is the thing that makes other people attracted to him. And that's what you're looking for. Not necessarily for polarization, because polarization is key. You do want to repel people, not just go for everybody, but repel certain people and attract the right audience. You don't want to go for trying to get everybody's attention. Think of it as, just like you, I'm working on this. It takes some time to go through the process, and what they recommend in the One Funnel Away Challenge is to do content for a year. After about a year of doing daily content, you're going to find your voice. Now, the other key takeaway to this is, to decide what medium works for you, because you might not be a podcaster. You might not want to be on video. You might, want to write, or you might love video, or any of those. The thing of it is, when you look at all that, the medium's not going to matter. The tech doesn't matter. None of that matters. What matters is the natural flow of your voice through a particular medium. What matters is your voice coming through. So the way you develop it is the way you naturally, if you're a writer, you're going to naturally develop your voice that way. But the other part of that is, over time, you're actually going to be able to go into these other areas, but start with what you're strong with first. That's the recommendation. Be yourself and lean into it. Now here's a cool tip, and this one is just, it's if you're a writer, I'm sure you've seen this before. But basically, you go and let's say you have a writer that you admire. You can go and you can copy directly the passages of that writer. And as you copy out their writing word for word, you get to understand the flow and the voice, and you go inside the head of the author, even if they're dead, and you're able to bring that flow through your subconscious, through your mind, and you start to develop a certain mimicking. And their structure and that mimicking allows you, through that process, to create your own. It's like having the structure there allows you the freedom to kind of start to feel it. And so you develop your own voice of writing. It takes a while to go through that process, but when you do, it's not that you're copying that writer. It's that you're borrowing that structure in the voice because you love it and admire it, and then you're taking and kind of moving away from that. It's a fun process, and it's one that can be used with other mediums. So the suggestion here is to, whatever medium you choose, go and find people you admire and look at copying them, and not copying them as in, I'm going to do the exact same thing they're doing. Hope that comes across clearly. What you're doing is you're using their structure and then bouncing off of that and leaning into your weirdness. It's a fun process, but it can also be very frustrating, and it's an ongoing thing. You're gonna suck. You're gonna suck some more, and eventually you're gonna suck less. That's how Gary J. White put it. And I like how he puts that, because it's true. And even if you start to get better, you're still going to think that you suck. Even those greats think that they suck. There's details of mastery where once you get to a certain level, you realize there's so much more to go. And so you never really get there. There's no such thing as perfection. You never really get to that sense of mastery, because the deeper you go, the deeper you can go. Anyway, so the action here is to know that you're going to suck, and over time you'll suck less. Just keep on creating. Decide on a medium and keep on creating, and stick with it. It's really the hardest thing to do is to stick with it, because nobody likes sucking. Nobody likes going and doing something and knowing that they are like bad. Nobody wants to do that. But just like, doing a Spartan race, training for a Spartan race, guys can go from when they're 600 pounds and get down to like 290. Okay. But that process sucks, really sucks at first. And gradually they move through it. And it's a process. You can't shortcut the process. The web is full of people going, take this shortcut, take that shortcut. Nah, there are no shortcuts. No, there are no shortcuts. You have to suck, and you gradually suck less. So last part of this with publishing is, and this is one, the last part with publishing has to do with SEO. Having done SEO in the past, I can tell you that, when you get on the hamster wheel of creating content, you're chasing keywords, and you're going to find that you're going to be outbid and outcreated by everybody. However, just like with your weirdness, if you take core posts, okay, these are core elements of what you do, and you research them and you put it out there, you can optimize for those keywords, but you're creating your content from your voice. You still need to optimize. It's just like going to the library. Don't think about Google. Think about going to the library. If you want people to find your content in a library, you're going to have keywords in there so that they can find it. Okay? It's a fact of life. If you're using obscure words, then they're not going to use the same words, and they're just not going to find your content in the library. Okay? Google's the library. Other search engines are the library. So the key is not to chase all these different keywords necessarily. I mean, people do that and they do it successfully. I'm not saying that they don't. But here is what you do. You need just some core pillar posts that you optimize, you create, and you update on a regular basis. The key is updating. The key is not creating necessarily more content. It's making it more robust. It's going deep with those particular posts. And when you do, over time, you'll see results. You need to be linking back to those core posts on a regular basis. All the time, just coming back. It's like a mantra. What are the key things that you come back to? Okay? Habits. For me, creative habits make sense. Willpower only gets you so far. You're only going to have so much muscle with your willpower, right? They've proven it. It's like a muscle. The more willpower you use during the day, by the end, it's like, you run out of gas for your willpower. So you have to have systems and habits in place, even with your creativity, even if it seems stifling to you at first. That structure, that habitual structure is necessary for you to have the freedom for which to create on a regular basis. If you delve into SEO at all, you'll find that pillar posts are one of the things recommended. And you need to update on a regular basis. You can't just create a pillar post and leave it. Okay, you need to update it on a regular basis. So, anyway, publishing, love-hate relationship you're going to have probably. The key is not to be on the hamster wheel. There's so much more, to publishing, obviously. Anyway, keep following along, because I do have some other ideas on this that I think will help you if you're on that hamster wheel. Subscribe, and the next video, we're talking about the Epiphany Bridge. This is really cool. Just like leaning into your weirdness, the Epiphany Bridge is a process. Subscribe, and see you in the next video.